Hey friends, let's talk about self-love and body positivity. I am so lucky and so grateful because growing up, my mother and just about every other influential woman in my life never put much pressure on me to be beautiful in the traditional sense. They taught me that I was already beautiful. Sometimes it was because my hair and outfit were put together, and other times it was because I was being kind or creative. Growing up, beauty in the traditional sense was not something that I had a lot of pressure on myself to be from the people around me. Growing up, my intelligence and my creativity and my kindness were just as valued, if not more valued, than looks. This is something that shaped me as a person, as a young woman living in a world that feeds off of young women's insecurities and almost exclusively perpetuates them. Despite all of this though, I did have a few body image issues. I mean, it's basically a goddamn rite of passage. I looked down on minuscule little things that were not worth the time worrying about. I hated the way my arms and my shoulders looked, and my freckles and the pallor of my skin. These things were made fun of too, so that only cemented my beliefs. Looking back though, I wish I'd spent the time I spent trying to fix these things, being creative, or helping others, or learning awesome things. These minor imperfections were so inconsequential, and at this time in my life, right now, I can't say I have an issue with any of them. However, when I got sick, things changed a little bit. I got sick during the time in my life when beauty in the traditional sense seemed like the most important thing. I thought that if I couldn't be pretty, I couldn't be anything. I was around the age of 13. Things changed quickly about myself and my body and my life. A body that I once knew so well, one that I could manipulate into tricks on the trampoline or run for hours in, changed. I didn't know this body. All I knew was that it was broken. I thought I was a failure because of things that I could not control. I thought I would never get married, and boys would never look at me the same way they looked at other girls, able-bodied girls. And I thought I would never wear cute clothes again, or pretty dresses, because I thought I was ugly. I thought I was ugly in every sense of the word, because everything seemed like it was fighting against me, and I felt so defeated, and I felt like I was living an ugly life. I think that after fighting your own body for years, it's hard to love it sometimes for more than the traditional reasons. It's hard to love something that causes you so much pain and sickness, and that's what my body does to me on a daily basis. I detested my body in all new ways, and it seemed like there was no escaping it. I had the traditional pressures that make body positivity such an incredibly hard feat, as well as the looming thoughts that my body was broken and so unlovable by me or anyone else. I thought, how could anyone love something so damaged and so broken? I couldn't even at the time. This view was only pushed harder and harder onto me during this period in my life by society and media and even just the people around me in my life. I would compare myself to women in magazines and even just women on the street in my life and wish so hard to be like them, to be walking through life so easily and so happy in a body that cooperates. And I would beg and beg to God or the universe or whatever to just make me like them so that I could be beautiful. My friends didn't want to hang out with me anymore. They didn't want to hang out with the sick girl. And I felt like I was being told constantly that me and my body were disgusting and just trash. The only kind of beauty that mainstream media accepts is able-bodied beauty. The dictionary says that beauty is the quality present in a thing or a person that gives intense pleasure or deep satisfaction to the mind, whether arising from sensory manifestations, a meaningful design or pattern, or something else, such as a personality in which high spiritual qualities are manifested. Now, where in that definition of beauty does it say anything about the size of your body, of your waist or your boobs. Nowhere does it say that beauty is dependent on perfect hair or perfect makeup or perfect clothes. Nowhere does it say that beauty is perfect. And nowhere does it say that beauty has to be able-bodied beauty. This is really important to remember. Beauty is whatever the hell you want it to be. I think it's important to create your own definition of beauty and reject the definition that society is throwing at you left and right. To me, beauty is unbridled enthusiasm and utter badassery and genuine compassion and expression of oneself shamelessly. It took some time, but now I know that broken does not mean ugly, and that beauty doesn't, in fact it rarely does, conform to the narrow standards set for us. I'm not ashamed of my body anymore, despite how much pain it causes me. And I'm not ashamed of my illnesses, no matter how much people tell me I should be. They have helped shape me as a person, including my view of my body. Being a young woman is really hard, and being a disabled young woman is even harder, but it's not impossible. And it's not impossible to love yourself as a disabled young woman. It takes time and a conscious decision to decide to love yourself when everyone and everything around you is telling you that you're not worth it. But let me tell you something, you are worth it, and I'm worth it. I can now see the beauty in myself, even if it's not traditional. I am proud of my body, despite its woes. I know that I and my body can be loved by me and others, no matter how damaged or broken it is. My body is not beautiful in the ways that you're conditioned to accept, but God, is it beautiful in ways that you've never even thought of. I am happy and broken and different and marvelous all at the same time. I truly and wholeheartedly believe that self-love is one of the most important things that you can learn and practice. And I am so grateful to my illnesses because they taught me self-love on the truest level. It's so important to rebel in the form of radical positivity. It's not easy, but it's so worthwhile. I hope that everyone has a fantastic day and remembers what freaking goddesses you are. If you want, I'd love to hear one thing you love about yourself in the comments, or you can message me on any of my social media. Thanks for watching.